Hi everyone, Emma here. I wanted to show you how to make these lovely bracelets. So we're just going to jump right in. If you didn't watch the video just prior to this one, I go through a whole bunch of previews of different configurations of these bracelets. So you might want to watch that video first because we're going to just get into this. I'm hoping to keep this video nice and specific to actually doing it, because sometimes there's a lot of explanation at the beginning of videos. So let's get to it. So I'm using size 6 dragon thread in the crystal, and yeah, so the length you're going to use for this bracelet is up to you. It is a little bit tricky creating knots. I try to hide them in the cabochon. So you might, what I did was, after doing it a few times, I decided to take more thread than less. And what I did was I also left quite a large amount of thread so that I could put the clasp on and finish it off, because we are going to start this bracelet at this point here with the cabochon and the Superduos. So this Superduo and that Superduo will be added on at the end, as well as, ending it this way. So whatever works for you. If you need to do smaller pieces of thread, no big deal. You can create knots. It's just you have to weave your thread up and down and through quite a bit to hide your thread. That's the only reason why I went with the longer. So we have cabochon. They're size 7mm cabochons, and this one is called matte metallic copper, and it is beautiful. I found that this cabochon color actually changes how it looks depending on what you put with it. So on this one here, you can see you definitely get the color with the Superduos, and these Superduos are a similar color as well. But today I kind of wanted to use some more, some Superduos that are not metallic. And so I picked these. So these are the Superduos, and they are a luster milky pink. And I have to say, for the different size bracelets, you might need 2 tubes for both. On this one, you may only have to add 1 or 2, but I also want to mention that these cabochons, I've been coming across them and I'm getting a lot of clogged holes or misshapen ones. Let me see if I can find the misshapen one that I pulled out here. I think I put it in a little baggie. Yeah, it's somewhere. Anyway, like one side is not rounded, it's kind of off to the side. So you may have to cull out a few beads from your tube, which means you'll need it from the other. You definitely will use a full tube. You can work around opening a second tube, or if you don't have the same color, by just shortening this section here, and you could put a third row of Superduos or some other bead in there, maybe a gold something in there. So there's that. And then you definitely need 2 of these Superduos. So these say they are between 8 and 9 grams. I think for the Superduos, you'll probably need 12 grams to make a small bracelet, and you'll need about 14 to make a large bracelet. And when I say a small bracelet, this bracelet is 6 inches. It's a bit bigger than 6 inches so that it's loose on a 6-inch wrist. This one was made for 7.5. So let me just quickly tell you how many cabochons you're going to need for both. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 for that one. And then this one is 22. So let's see if I got that right here. 22 or 23. Okay. And then you're going to need a 15-0 bead for this design. You can use an 11-0 if you want. I use it for this area here between the cabochon and the fire polish, and then for the accent bead. So you could put an 11-0 here and continue with the 15-0s there. I think you could put some 11-0s there too, but I like how this is a little dainty. So let's get started. I'm using a size 10 needle, and that is works. I might as well put them all out. Works fine. So, and then some of these. These are Toho round. I find even the Toho rounds, they look tubular to me. And Toho has that tubular shape to them. So let's get this a little closer to me and enlarge it. See, okay, that should work. So I've got everything here. So to start with, I put on a stop bead, and the first couple of rows are kind of finicky, so just be aware of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything on that we need, and I'll lay it flat, and then I'll start to handle it, because this way you can see, you kind of need to see the orientation of things. So you're going to start with 4 Superduos, okay, and then a 15-0, a cabochon. So if we're working from the right hand side and weaving this way to come back and around, then we want to make sure, because there's 2 sides to this cabochon. There's a flat side and a rounded side. So you want to make sure, if you look at your holes, that you're coming in on the right side of the bottom hole. And that's important when we turn around and go back the other way. So like that. Then we're going to take a 15-0 and 4 Superduos. Now I'm going to lay them out so you can see what that looks like. And I'll explain a bit. Okay. Let's put it there. Let me enlarge this a bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the beads, because they're not going to sit this way. So the first bead is going to be down, and then the 4th bead is going to be down. Now you don't have to worry too much about it right now, because when we go through to do our 2nd row, you'll see which way things are going to flip. But let's get this one down. So just think, in your set of 4, your 2 outside ones are going to flip down. They will eventually, when we finish off the bracelet, they are going to cinch together. Let me see if I can show you. They're going to cinch together. So don't worry about that. So that's what you need for your first row. Super simple. Now, when you look at these bracelets, make sure I have it the right way. I'll show you on this side. So these 2 here are the outside ones that are cinched together. So we need these 3 15-0s to pull this to that bead. So let's do that. So we're going to need, I'm going to see if I can get this without messing it up too bad, so you can see what I'm talking about. There. So pick up 3 15-0s. three 15-0s. I'm going to draw it down. Let's get this Superduo back there. Okay, so you can see that Superduo is the down outside. So we're going to take our thread and go through this first Superduo. And just that. Trying to do it this way because if I put it in my hand, it will flip-flop all over the place. I know where things are going to go, but it might be confusing if you've never done this before. If you've done this before, just flip through. Okay, so now we need to add our two middle ones here. So pick up two. So I would consider this the second row. Pick up two Superduos. And we're going to go through the hole of this up Superduo, like that. And pull everything tight. If the bottom one gets loose, I feel like it's not enough light here. Just pull your 15-0s out and then pull your thread. And it will tighten it. And you can always tighten it after as well. So there we go. Okay, like that. Then we're going to go through this cabochon through the second hole, but we want to put our 15-0 on the edge of it. I'll be doing this again while it's in my hand, so it might make more sense, but just for the sake of showing you where everything goes. Like I said, I found the first couple of rows a bit finicky, so there. So now that's in place. We're going to pick up another 15-0, so we're coming out of this top right hand hole of the cabochon, and we're going to go through the Superduo like that. Grab this. Like that, and pull it tight. And you see how the Superduos now pull together. Pick up two Superduos, put it through. Oh, my thread came off. I'm using tulip needle, and of course this is a size 10, so the hole is really big. And I found that the tulip needles, the holes are really big, which is wonderful, but the thread comes out of it a lot. So but I mean, it goes back in pretty good. I'll try and make a little bend in there so it doesn't do that. There, through there, and then let me take it through this side, through the top hole of that side, and there, nice and snug. And show you what that looks like. My hand. So there you go. So now let's go and do our 15-0s on this side. So 3 15-0s go through the Superduo. And this is how I tighten things. I will pull with my nail on one side and then pull the other thread on the other side. Pull that, and that will tighten it. Now 2 Superduos. That. And pull tight. That feels a bit loose there. Let me see if I can tighten that. There. Just gonna bring this over a bit. Okay, so now we're going to add a cabochon. So we need to pick up a 15-0 cabochon, so we want the flat side to be down, and we want to be in the bottom hole coming from the right side. So that's kind of the most tricky part. I have done stuff like this and ended up, you keep beating and you're going at it and everything. Then you realize when you look at your bracelet, when you go to put the clasp on, that you have beads that are upside down. That's not fun. So it's like, well, it's going to be one of those bracelets. So now we're going to put our Superduos there. And this is basically it. You just keep repeating. So I'll show you what it looks like on the top. We'll do a few more of these. So it's coming out nice with those. These metallics are so flashy, it's hard to, like, I love these color beads, but I feel like they're just totally washed out by this. But it might be because I've been working with these different cabochons all weekend, so I'm kind of, they call it like artist blindness or something like that, where you're too close to something, you don't see the whole thing. So I just added my 50 O's, and we're going to do some Superduos through the other Superduo. Pull it tight, pick up the 15 O, and go through. So this is how I hold my work, and it seems to work pretty good. So it's almost like I'm working on the side. Another 15 O, and then through the Superduo. That. 2 Superduos. Like that. 3 15 O's. And go through the Superduo. I tend to hold on to that Superduo that I'm going through. I find that's when my thread gets loose. So then I have to kind of pull back and adjust it. So pick up 2 Superduos. And I find that Superduos are hard to pick up. They're slippery. And that in. 15 O. And we need our cabochon. Oh, and definitely check your holes, because I have had quite a few holes that were not complete. So I just put my needle through the cabochon through both holes to check it. So now I have a 15-0 cabochon, a 15-0, and it's through the bottom hole. We're going to go through the Superduo, pick up 2 Superduos, that, 3 15-0s, that, and through that Superduo like that, 2 Superduos through that one like that, pick up 1 15-0, go through the top hole of the cabochon, a 15-0, and go through the Superduo. And the Superduos as well, you might want to check the holes, because I find you're weaving quite a bit. By the time I get to this side, I've already woven through a few things, so I am just going to pull that a little bit tighter. Let's do it this way. There. Pick up 2 Superduos, and go through the other Superduo, pick up 3 15s. Go through here. Yeah, see, this is loose. Superduos. Oh, that's 3 through here. So we'll do one more cabochon. That. Pick up a 15-0. Grab your Superduo. I'll put it in front. It's in the top hole. I'm checking it, and then through the bottom. That's the hole I want to be in. Then we pick up another 15. So we are doing this. The threads everywhere like that. Okay, and go through. You're coming out of this hole. We're going to go into this Superduo. That. Pick up 2 Superduos. Like that. 3 15-0s. Like that. Go through the next hole of the Superduo. Like that. And then 2 Superduos. A 15-0. Go through the top hole of your cabochon. And watch it doesn't get hooked. And then a 15. Go through the Superduo. Like that. 2 Superduos. And whoops. That. So that is what you have. So you just continue this all the way up to the length that you need it. Then when you're adding, you're gonna, if you have a lot of thread left over, you can use it to attach your clasp, or you can just go ahead and thread through. So something like this, I would take my 3 15-0s, go through here, just like you would normally. Okay, and then I would take my thread down somewhere. So you can bring your thread down to, say, this hole and go through here, through these 2. So you're going through that Superduo, through the 15-0, pull it through, tie the knot there, and then slide it inside the cabochon. Then weave your thread around. So I won't go through because I'll continue this. So there you go. That's how easy it is. Like you could see, it's been less than 25 minutes, and you know, I've showed you all this much with a whole lot of explaining. So once you get started, you're going to be hooked. These end up turning out just incredible. And I will show you how to put a clasp on in another video. I find that the clasps take a little longer than expected, and I'm hoping to keep my videos under 30 minutes so that it's a little more easy for you guys to watch. And this way you could just find, depending on what class you want to put on, you can look at those videos and decide what to put on. So I'm going to try and do a lot of different variations as well. So there you go. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that, and take care, everybody.